It's been a while. I wanted to make this video today because I have obviously missed like a whole month of posting and there's been so much going on in my life that I wanted to do a little update. And I also wanted to take this opportunity to answer some questions that you guys put in for my Q&A video as well. So you guys sent in a whole bunch of questions that were personal and some were related to fashion. In today's video, I'm going to answer all those personal questions and then I'm going to create a completely separate video to answer all the fashion questions because there were a lot of them. Oh, my button's undone. So basically I am finally feeling better. So about a month ago, Nate, my son, my 2-year-old got the flu. Alex ended up getting the flu. I ended up getting the flu. I got it pretty rough. I was not doing good. My immune system did not respond well to the flu. As a parent, anyone can relate, you can't really relax properly. You can't give your body what it actually needs when you are sick to recover properly from something because you just have to keep going. So my flu ended up turning into pneumonia. I was getting really bad chest pains. I couldn't breathe in very deep and I was getting exhausted from standing up, walking from the couch to the kitchen. I felt like I'd gone up a whole flight of stairs. And as you can imagine, trying to look after a toddler, a very busy boy, when I was feeling so out of breath and so exhausted. And it took me a really long time to go to the doctor because I was like, I just kept saying like, oh, maybe I'll just start getting better tomorrow. You know, things will start getting better. It's fine. Like I'll give it another day. Like tomorrow will be the day that I start getting better. And when it had been 2.5 weeks and my symptoms were just getting way worse, that's when I decided to go see a doctor and they, found that I had pneumonia. So I got on antibiotics for that. And it's now been 6 days since my antibiotics and I feel like a new human. Alex was obviously helping me heaps throughout this stage. He took off quite a bit of work and he worked from home the whole time we were all really sick. But he also he had to have surgery during the exact same week that I had the flu. Yeah, his surgery, it was on his chest and he wasn't able to lift up Nate for a whole week. And that was the week that I had the flu. And I'm telling you, it was tough. The two of us together were falling apart, but we made a great team to just look after Nate, both just feeling like absolute garbage. I did all the heavy lifting. Alex did all the, main parenting parts when I was horizontal. We got through it. Super grateful at the moment. I'll talk more about all the little things I'm grateful for at the end of this video, but right now I'm just grateful for my health. I just feel so much better. Being stuck, not able to do anything for weeks, laying down, feeling guilty for not being able to parent the way I wanted to parent and, getting behind in everything, getting behind in doing my work, which I absolutely love. Like doesn't feel like a chore for me. I love this. So I miss that so much. Got behind in all my admin, got behind in all my washing. The house was a total tip. The bathrooms weren't clean for like over a month. We were just surviving. We don't have any family support in Sydney either. My parents are all in Melbourne and then Alex's family is all in the UK and Italy. And so we just managed. We just got through the time that we could. And obviously in that time I couldn't film or work or create any content. But I'm back and I'm feeling good. Before all that kind of happened, I had so much going on and I have for years got heaps going on with my family in Melbourne and I won't go into details because obviously it's very personal for them. It's tough and I think I mentioned that in a community post recently. Life is happening right now. It's just all piling on. Since then I've been down to Melbourne to see some of my family members and help out with a few things, and I've also started seeing a psych weekly, which has been a game changer for me. Just being able to offload everything that's going on in my life to a stranger, or she's not a stranger anymore, but like to someone who is just not associated with my family or not close to me. It's just so nice. And to have the support of being able to have hard conversations and navigate situations that I wouldn't know how to navigate through by myself. And then also just not having to put so much on Alex. He's really good at listening, but it can take its toll on people. And I appreciate that. Totally understand what that's like when you're trying to support someone through a hard situation. It's also hard for you. So that was becoming really overwhelming for me. So just to be able to get a psych and finally be able to talk through all my worries and my anxieties and just life stuff has been really, really groundbreaking for me. After having pneumonia and being made to rest has just been really nice. Set my eyes on my priorities again, and it's feeling really motivating going forward into the last quarter of the year. And for us here in Australia, it is spring and summer, so it just feels really uplifting at the moment. And yeah, feeling really good. So now I'm going to go through some of the personal questions that you guys answered me. I'm just gonna have a big sip of coffee. Yum. What's the time? I have a psych appointment in an hour and a half. All right, the first question. Do you miss working with other adults in a collaborative working environment? Is doing YouTube lonely? Yes and no. I personally relate to being more of an introvert than an extrovert. I get a lot of energy from being alone in silence, like pure silence. No music, no podcast, no background noise, just silence, being alone, listening to like the cars and the trees. That's where I pull all my energy from. When I'm in social situations, I am drained. So because of that, I do feel a lot more calm and at peace working for myself at home. However, obviously, isolating yourself so much is never a healthy thing to do. And I did have to kind of find the balance. But my YouTube journey from going from working with other people, I was working like 4 other jobs. I was working as a model. I was working in part-time in real estate, doing social media for a real estate company. I was doing social media for a social media management company. And what else was I doing? And I was working in retail at Country Road. So I was around a lot of people all the time. And I do obviously miss those social interactions. But when I went full-time YouTube, we also went into lockdown, and then I also got pregnant. And becoming a mother can also be really isolating. And also we moved cities. We moved to a different city where we knew no one. So all of these things combined, YouTube, moving cities, becoming a mum, going into lockdown, I was so isolated. And I had to make a really big commitment to making friends. And it took a really long time, if I'm honest, especially being a mum. I had postpartum depression and anxiety after having my son for months. And I was in therapy for that. And yes, I felt completely isolated, super lonely. And, I can't be sure if that was because I was a mum, all the things that had happened, moving cities, being in lockdown, or being on YouTube, are just many variables. So yes, I personally did feel lonely, but I think when you do something like working for yourself online, you have to make an effort to find your community. And I've personally found my community through mums and stuff now. But if I wasn't a mum, I would have tried to find my community through content creators and people who are doing similar things to me. So I did kind of think about for a while, maybe reaching out to other YouTubers in Sydney who not necessarily in the same niche, but maybe have the same kind of values as me, and then making my community through that. I would have done that if I didn't try to find my mum community. But I think the mum community for me is definitely a more of a priority. So to answer that question, all in all, yes, I think it does become a bit lonely, like not being around people. It's never good for you to isolate completely. But yeah, I do thrive off being alone and in silence. That's where I re-energize. So for me, it's all about balance and finding some really good quality, good friendships around me, and not overcommitting myself and giving myself the time to be alone and in silence, which with a toddler is hard. You've got to make the time. And these days that I work, he's in daycare 2 days a week now. So when he's not sick, when we're not sick, I feel like all winter we've been sick. But he's in daycare 2 days a week. And those are my work days. Those are my days where I often just sit in the house in silence and I edit, or I plan, or I film like this. And it's energizing for me. So yeah, depends on the person, really. It's all about getting to know yourself. It's taken me a while. Taken me a very long while. I'm 33, I think. Am I 33? Yeah, I'm 33. Next question. Gosh, that was only one question. I do like to ramble. Let's make these a bit faster. How long did it take your channel to get monetized? Okay, this is interesting because I created a YouTube channel back in 2012 to be a consumer of content, not to create a YouTube channel. Then I started posting so my first video for this channel was 14th of May, 2018. So it's been like just over 6 years since I started this, which is wild. And I got monetized in September 2019. So that's a whole 1 year and 4 months for me to get monetized. As a little quick backstory, I started my YouTube channel never with the intention of getting monetized. I didn't even know that you could monetize a YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel because I was in this really weird crossroads in my life where I had no idea what I wanted to do. I know I didn't want to be a model anymore, but I was doing all these other side jobs and none of them were really tickling my fancy eye. either. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I did some volunteering work to try to see if I wanted to work with animals in animal hospitals and things like this. And I tried everything. And then I tried a YouTube channel. I started posting videos about literally anything, like anything that interested me. It wasn't solely fashion, but fashion was obviously something that interested me. So I posted a fashion video and then that popped off and I just kept posting fashion stuff. And there, that was 6 years ago. Okay, next question. What has been the best thing about becoming a mum and the most challenging thing? Also, what are some small things in your life that you're grateful for? That's from Jessica. Thank you, Jessica, because I loved this question. I'm all about practicing gratitude and stuff. So let's do the mum stuff first and then we'll talk about gratitude. So what's the best thing about becoming a mum and the most challenging thing? Wow, there's like so many good things and then so many challenging things, and that's like parenting in a nutshell, I think. It's hard to say the best. Overall, the best thing about becoming a mum or a parent, I'd say, is just the growth that you do in that time, the personal growth that you do, like how much stronger and capable and all these things that you do that you never thought you could do. And then also the growth of them, seeing them grow is quite amazing. I love watching Nate grow and learn and how he learns. I think that is just such a rewarding part of being a parent. And yeah, just like I said, the growth that I've made in these past couple of years and the stress that our relationship has been put under, but we've worked so hard and in turn our relationship has grown as well. Yeah, all that growth, because I'm very much into personal growth and just living a nice life and living the best life I can. The growth is definitely, for me, the best part of becoming a parent. And then the most challenging part, Alex and I were talking about this the other night, and I was like, do you know what? The worst thing about being a parent is doing annoying things when you don't want to do them. When you're laying in bed in the morning and you just do not want to get up, but you have to get up, and just losing that freedom to do whatever you want whenever you want it. I'd say that's probably the most challenging, getting your mind to just do hard things when you don't want to do them. For me, when I first became a mum, like I said earlier, I had postpartum depression and anxiety, but I went through a massive identity crisis kind of thing. It's a huge change becoming a mum and for your identity. For me, I just didn't adapt well to it at all. And I think it was all, like I said earlier, just the timing of things happening in my life that I just completely lost who I was. And I think it is a really common thing to go through, the identity change confusion. But like I said, once again, it's the best part of it is growing and getting over that and finding your new self and all that. So the most challenging thing for me also relates to the best thing. So I think that's quite interesting, because on reflection, the biggest challenges in our life can often create such meaningful, positive change. So yeah, I had never really thought about it like that until now. Okay, so the second part of the question is, what are some small things in your life that you're grateful for? I love this question. So I'm going to talk about 3. Earlier I spoke about how I'm really grateful for my health at the moment. Another small thing that I'm grateful for is my yoga studio, the actual community that is at the yoga studio. Everyone is super chill. It's a very traditional yoga, all about breathing and meditation, being present. And everyone at the yoga studio has similar values, and it's just really nice. And I've also made a really good friend through my yoga studio who is an amazing support to me and just an amazing person and friend, and we get along so well. And I'm just grateful for that opportunity. And I think, as I was talking to my friend about this the other day, exercise classes are such a good way to meet people and make friends who have similar values to you, probably. If they're at that class, that's something that you have in common already, so that's a good starting point. But if you keep going to the same class every single week, and that person goes to the same class every single week, and you just have a 1-minute conversation with them after each class, and then it turns into a 2-minute conversation, then it turns into a 5-minute conversation, then it turns into like you having coffee with them after the class, and then it turns into you catching up outside of the class, and that's how you make friends with people from sports classes. So yeah, exercise classes. So I think that's great. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh yeah, the other little small thing. I was trying to think of a really small thing that I'm grateful for right now. And since laying on the sofa for 3 weeks and just like looking out the window, staring into space, when I was sick, we've gone from winter to spring here in Sydney. And the tree outside our house was empty, no leaves on it at all. And now I am looking at it and it is full of leaves. In just a few weeks, it just completely sprouted, and it had a little bit of blossoms on it as well. And the tree down the road has some blossoms on it. And I got to just watch that while I was sick. And I really, really appreciate that as a really small thing, just seeing the growth and also the birds that it's brought. I don't know if it's just entering my 30s, but I love birds. So I love listening to birds. Where we live in Sydney, we're super close to the city, but we're also surrounded by nature and harbour and national park and everything. So the birds around here are amazing. There's heaps of parrots. We have a tree outside our house that is a native Australian tree, so it brings in all the parrots, cockatoos, kookaburras, magpies. I love the sound of magpies. Anyone who lives in Australia, you know the sound of the maggies. I love the sound of magpies, and I'm just grateful for all of that outside my window right now. Oh, I feel like I'm getting sweaty. Okay, so the next question is, how do you stay so thin? So I get this question a lot in a lot of my videos. I get a lot of people talking about my weight, and I understand why. I am super thin. I've been thin my whole life. If you look at my family members, it's a genetic thing. All my family over history and stuff. I just have a super fast metabolism. I used to eat the same amount that my dad ate at the dinner table when I was a teenager. It's just me, and maybe things will change as I get older, but it's just the way my body is. But in saying that, I still do really look after the things that I put into myself. I still do really look after myself with the things that I eat and what I put in my body and stuff. I finally got into the habit of exercising, and for me, it was all about my mental health. So I started exercising for my mental health. Gym twice a week when my son is in daycare. So on Tuesdays and Fridays, gym twice a week, and then Sunday morning is my yoga, and I've been doing that Sunday morning yoga for almost 2 years now. Oh no, 2 years. Yeah. And super passionate about what I put in my body as well, because food is fuel and gives me energy. And on the days where I skip lunch because things are hectic with my son, which happens, I'll eat the crusts of his sandwich, and then just it's 3 p.m. and oh my God, I'm running on adrenaline and I haven't made myself any lunch. It happens here and there. Those are the days where I just feel like absolute garbage. So I really focus on trying to meal prep myself really good foods, do some meal prep salads and stuff, and just having a really balanced diet. So making sure I'm getting in all my grains, all my veggies, fruits, heaps of different colors. I just always think about the rainbow in my diet, good fats, lots of dark chocolate as my yummy treat. But yeah, I can do more about the things I eat if anyone's interested. But for me, I don't eat for my weight. I eat for my health and my happiness and my skin, all these kind of things. So yeah, the next question is, I like the way that you do your makeup. Would love to know more about it. Thank you. So if you want, I will do a little makeup routine, but in general, I try to keep my makeup really simple with a little bit of a glow. I don't use foundation anymore. I use a tinted moisturizer. So I've got it here. I love this Bare Minerals Complex Rescue Skin Perfecting Tint. It's light. It doesn't, make you look all one shade. It just kind of covers up those little blemishes, but I can still see my freckles. And then I just kind of go for the natural look from there. I've kind of been working on simplifying it over the past couple of years to try to have less product and use less things. The one thing I cannot find is a concealer that I like. Some of my things are natural, organic stuff. Some of them aren't. I was thinking about testing the Merit concealer because you can buy that in Australia now, Merit, which I've always been interested in. I've seen it heaps online, but I've never tested it before. So if anyone's tested the Merit concealer, please let me know what it's like, or if you've tested any of their products, because I'm considering buying a couple. Okay, next question is, how do you manage your finances in everyday life? Is it hard, and any major challenges you have faced? Yes, huge challenges financially and still do at the moment. So I have, for my whole life, I've always been self-employed, which is a stressful position to be in, I think, because it causes a lot of fluctuations in your earnings. As a model in London, it was awfully hard. For months, I wasn't earning anything because the agency literally just didn't release my money to me. Which is a whole nother story. But I was also going months without work, actual no months with work. And you would go every day thinking, oh, maybe tomorrow I'll get a job. Maybe tomorrow I'll get a job. It's like the struggling kind of actor scenario is the same as a struggling model. So I'd be working side jobs, cafe jobs on the side, and then I'd earn a ridiculous amount of money that would pay for the next 3 months. And I'd be like, woohoo, this is the best. And then I wouldn't earn anything for another 3 months. And I'm like, shit. Awfully stressful being in that kind of fluctuation of finances. Didn't like that at all. Then when I was living in Melbourne, when I was working all those side jobs that I was talking about before, and then as a model as well, I was definitely earning much better money because I had these consistent side jobs, and then I had my modeling as like a bonus on the side. But if I'm honest, I was burning out, hardcore burning out. My calendar was chocked to the brim. 4 casual jobs and creating my YouTube channel. You know, mind you, I didn't have a child at that time, so it was a completely different time, but I could feel that I was burning out and that wasn't sustainable. So although I was making good money then, I was just like not happy either because I was just working too hard. And I have it in my mind at the moment that you have to work really, 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 really hard to make money. And that's my limiting belief with money. So I'm working on that at the moment, trying to find the middle ground, because like I do like working hard. It's in me, that's in my DNA to work hard, but I also don't want to work to the point of burnout ever again, because that was awful. And I have a child to look after now. So it is all about finding the balance and figuring out how to make money enough that's not like crazy, but just supports me and my family and doesn't make me burn out at the same time. So in saying that, I've been working on my limiting beliefs around money recently because I think that's a massive factor on finances. And then also I've decided that 2025 is my financial year. So I set like one big goal at the start of the year of what I want that year to be. And then I break up that big goal into lots of little things. So 2025 is my financial year. And I have a little plan of how I want my finances to be more organized. I want to be better at investing. I have a little bit of investments at the moment, but I want to be more consistent with investing. And yeah, it's mainly about the organizational side. Some things that I've already started to implement, which have been massive, are paying myself first automatically. So I basically have this rough idea of the minimum of what I might earn for a month. And then what I do is I say, this is a minimum amount I might earn for the month. I'm going to pay myself the 10% of that as soon as I earn it into an account, into savings. So what I do is I have an automatic transfer that goes without me even knowing. I get paid around the 23rd or the 24th of each month. And then I have on the 25th an automatic 10%-ish of what I think I might earn that goes into my savings. And then I also have an automatic 10% that goes into my tax account because I have to put tax away because I'm self-employed. And then I have an automatic, another one that goes into another savings account for me and Alex that, you know, we just have this big savings account that we're trying to eventually buy a house for. We'll see one day. What I'm trying to say is like those automatic things that I don't see the money. I don't have to deal with it. It just happens as I get paid. And I started implementing that maybe 6 months ago. And I checked one of the accounts the other day and I was like, oh my God, I've saved all this money and I didn't even have to think about it. I didn't even notice it was gone. Sometimes if the money is just in my main spending account, I'll just spend it. But if it's already gone as soon as I get paid, it doesn't get spent. So yeah, that's been a really big one for me. And I've also, in that time, that's the other thing I've been doing is filling up my emergency fund, which I'm gonna have to use because I have to get 3 wisdom teeth out. So I'm so glad now because about 6 months ago, I started filling up my emergency fund for something like this. And now I'm able to use it. And it feels so good to know that I have that there and I can go use that emergency fund for this big expense that I wasn't expecting to come up so soon. And then once this is done, I'll just start filling up my emergency fund again. And I'm sure something will happen. The car will break down or something like that. And we've got that money put aside. So yeah, emergency fund, automatic payments. I think they're pretty basic financial stuff. I'm not a financial advisor, disclaimer. It's far from it. My dad was actually a financial advisor. So yeah, 2025, the year of finances. I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, next question. My question is, have you thought about totally quitting YouTube and how did you come back to consistent uploading? So I've never totally considered quitting YouTube. I've always done this as something fun to do. Like I really love the process of making a video. I love the editing process as well. I tried to get someone else to edit my videos for a while and then I just really missed the editing process. So I started editing my videos again. So I've never considered quitting YouTube because I just enjoy it so much. And how did you come back to consistent uploading? So for me, in case people don't know, I stopped consistently uploading when I got pregnant because I had a really tough pregnancy. I had a back injury and I could hardly walk for months. So I couldn't even lift up any of my equipment. I couldn't, get changed into outfits. I was just a mess pregnant. I was also really depressed at that time too. So it was a tough time for me. So I stopped uploading for months and months. And then I obviously had a baby and stopped uploading for a while then too. I had postpartum depression and anxiety, didn't have family around to help, stopped uploading for a very long time. In this time, there were little uploads here and there when I was feeling up to it. But how I came back to consistent uploading, I would say, is coming down to it, prioritizing my mental health. And then the other thing was reducing my uploading schedule and reducing the pressure I was putting on myself to actually upload every single week. So with the YouTube algorithm, the best way that you can grow is uploading at least once a week. And I had to let go of that and just say, you know what? With my life right now, with a baby, with not a lot of help, with, the length that my videos take to make, because they're not just like sit down chats like this, getting changed into a million outfits. My videos take so long to make. Realistically, I cannot make a video once a week, and I was chasing my tail. I was putting myself under a lot of pressure, and this was really affecting me mentally. So I just said, you know what, I actually can probably commit to a video every 2 weeks. So by reducing my schedule to every 2 weeks and saying I'm going to consistently upload every 2 weeks, and then prioritize my mental health as well. So going to see a psych and exercising properly, being realistic with myself, accepting where I was, accepting this stage of my life. I'm looking after another human without any of our family around, and I've just got to accept that that's the way that it is, and that I need to reduce my expectations on what I can achieve in that time, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is my family and the time that I spent with them. So yeah, those were the two things that I focused on to come back to consistent uploading. And yeah, before I got sick with pneumonia, I was uploading every 2 weeks, which was totally fine. It wasn't putting pressure on me. I was enjoying the schedule. So that's probably what I will aim to do going forward. And every now and then, if I have a little bit extra time, if my video is finished early, it might be a video every week, but usually every 2 weeks. And 2 weeks is fine for the algorithm for now. I don't care. Now that I've hit 100,000 subscribers, that was obviously a goal of mine. Obviously, that's a massive goal. You get the silver play button. But now that I've done that, I just want to make really valuable videos. I just want to enjoy the process of making the video from start to finish without putting myself under pressure. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. I do like to ramble, don't I? Oh, last question. When did you get married? Tell us about the ceremony and what you wore. Okay, so I'm actually not married. We're engaged. We've been engaged for a very long time. Alex and I have been together for coming up to 8 years. Yeah, 8 years. Hope he doesn't watch this. 8 years, confidently. I'm confidently saying that we're coming up to 8 years. We got engaged. So we got engaged at the end of 2020. So if you think about the timing of it, getting engaged around that time, we had a lot of friends getting engaged and getting married similar time as well. And a lot of people canceling their weddings, rescheduling their weddings, having just so much stress around their wedding because of the time that we were going through in 2020. It was the end of 2020. It was Christmas Eve. It was a beautiful proposal in the garden right next to my vegetable patch. We were living in Melbourne at the time, and I was in my PJs, and totally unexpected. And, all of Alex's family is on the other side of the world in London and Italy. And I think the Australian borders might have even still been closed at that point. We were just like, whatever, let's not plan a wedding right now. We knew we were moving at the start of 2021 to Sydney. We had big life changes. We knew we wanted to have a baby as well. We're like, let's just not get married for a bit. We'll figure it out once things calm down in the world, so that we can make sure that all of our family are there, everyone can make it, and that we don't have to go through extra stress with changing any wedding plans. Anyway, life went on. We moved to Sydney. We got pregnant. We had a baby, and that was 4 years ago. We're still not married, and we want to get married eventually. We will, but yeah, we just, we haven't. I think when I think about it now, it would be nice to do it when Nate's a bit older so he can really remember it and experience it with us. Oh, I get teary just saying that. So yeah, maybe that's what we'll do, but who knows? At the moment, we're happily engaged. Oh damn, I didn't think I'd cry before my psych appointment. Okay, guys, that is it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this catch up. I will make sure that I answer all those fashion questions in another video coming up, because I knew that I would ramble and I knew this would be super long. But thank you so much for being here and watching till the very end, because I know you guys are probably my true community, the people that stay right up to the very end. So yeah, thank you for being here. Super grateful, and I'm so happy to be back. So happy to be back. Okay, bye.